and welcome to this week's Friday Focus, although I guess, David, we might need to rename it this week because it's a Saturday night meeting, so he's been watching this on a Sunday morning. So shall we just call it the Focus? We'll shorten it to the Focus this week. Thanks very much for joining us as myself and David Harley here look back on the Staggs Bar Monarchs. I guess convincing would be the only word you could use, David. Victory over the Scunthorpe Scorpions, 67-23, so a 44-point victory on the evening, meaning a 36-point victory on aggregate. Yeah. 36 point, there you go, that was quick maths on both our part. 36 point aggregate overall for the Monarchs, which of course puts us into the KO Cup semi-finals. We'll hear from Scunthorpe's impressive Jake Allen, one of the guys that put the battle for them, Justin Sedgman for the Monarchs, and of course, as we're always, the heat of the night. So David, on the way into the meeting, I thought this could be tough tonight. I looked at the lineups and I thought we might have the advantage at reserve that would be enough to see us through. As it was, and we'll talk in a little bit about circumstance, as it was, the Monarchs basically blew the Scorpions out of the water. As we mentioned, a 44-point victory, and we now wait probably till about September, and we've got a KO Cup semi-final to come.
Yeah, I mean, tonight was always just about getting through to the semi-final of the Cup. I mean, after going out to Championship Shield last week, we needed to make sure we're still in competition. Puts us on a semi-final, a really good chance of some silverware come the end of the season. Yeah. Like you, I thought coming in it was a bit, never 100% sure, especially after last week being so close. Yeah. But it came pretty obvious early on that it was only going to go one way tonight. Yep,
and you mentioned that there, it really was absolutely crucial. The Monarchs are a team that strive for success. That's never hidden. The league is the number one target every year, but the KO Cup comes second, and we really, I'm going to use the word couldn't, never mind didn't want to, we couldn't be in a situation come the second weekend in May where we're out of both cup competitions with a hugely difficult first home league meeting to come next week as well against Leicester.
Yeah, as you say, Leicester, one of the favourites, and they're here next week. That'll be a hard start to the season. Yeah. We've had a slow start to the season by all accounts from most of the riders. Yeah. So let's get a good victory behind, a good payday for the boys as well, getting so many points. So we hopefully pick up for that kick on and get into the heart of the season now.
Yep, and obviously if we then, we'll flip it for a second and look at Scunthorpe's point of view. I mean, if you ever want your troubles to seek, obviously Jason Garrity doesn't arrive. A broken down van, I believe, was what the promotion were told. So that always puts them behind the game. Lewis Miller steps in at the last minute. So already you've lost a heat leader and you're replacing him with a National League reserve. The first heat, it looks like the Scorpions have made the gate. Then Danny Ayres comes off into the first bend and takes Ottey off. Josh Ottey then has an engine failure while... Was he on a 5-1 or was he leading? I think he was on a 5-1, wasn't he, when he had the engine failure in his second ride? And unfortunately, it appears that Josh Ottey may have broken his wrist or his scaphoid. If that is the case, we wish Josh all the best and hope to see you back on track soon, Josh. And then just a myriad of a couple of engine failures, a few silly mistakes by the right. Again, Danny Ayres makes a gate later on and falls off. I guess for the Scorpions, they were probably coming here thinking they need to be at their best from the get-go. To lose Jason Garrity makes it double as hard, and then the amount of points they'll think they left on the track, they'll probably be very disappointed with their performance overall tonight.
Yeah, as you say, I mean, if anything could go wrong for Scunthorpe, it did tonight. Yeah. When found out Jason Garrity wasn't going to be here, it was, your known front there, that puts them right behind. Yeah. And probably blew the chances then. They were going to need some kind of miracle. Yeah. And actually, the opposite happened. As you say, Ayres taken out there. Everything's going wrong. The riders struggling a wee bit early on, and obviously with the scores racking up, it's a bit demoralising. I mean, what was that? The first 4 races were a 5-1, 4-2, 5-1, 5-1. Yeah. We're already by that point 6 points up on aggregate, and match is over. Yep,
and I mean, I guess if you were looking from a Scunthorpe point of view, coming up and looking for positives, obviously Danny Ayres, I think it's only his second time here. As much as he had those couple of mistakes, he was gating very well and he finished with 7 points. Jake Allen continued a pretty solid start to the season, or a good start to the season everywhere else with 7 points. And for me, the man I was really impressed with was at the bottom, young Ryan Kinsley. Never seen him before, apart from when I went down to Scunthorpe earlier in the season to come to Armadale for the first time. I think he finished on 5, probably worth a little bit more. And even heat 14, he finishes third on the end of a 5-1. But I mean, the way he kept the throttle twisted coming out the second bend, got to the front, and Joe Anderson picked him up well. And then I think maybe he just tired by that point and lost and got on the end. So yes, it's a disastrous score for the Scorpions. Yes, that's him at the Cup. But I guess you've got to take the rough with the smooth, but look for these little shoots of positivity.
Yeah, as you say, Kingsley looking very good, because, guys, I think he's maybe been here once before or something like that, but looking solid. He's ahead of Joel for a couple of laps in that heat 14. got a good second place in Heat 2 and doing all right. Danny Ayres winning 2 races.
Yep.
Suddenly we thought we maybe get some racing at that point, and then he's run two lasts, and especially he's not very happy in Heat 15 when he made a mistake in that last.
On his sleeve, does Danny, doesn't he? And we've seen the party side of Danny when he wins a race.
Yeah, there was no Saturday Night Fever tonight, exactly. Was there?
I mean, I say the other man that did stay solid for the Scorpions was Jake Allen. We caught up with Jake after the meeting. So Jake, tough night for the Scorpions. Obviously, tough to start with. Garrity breaks down on the way here, so you're fighting a losing battle. You lose Josh at injury. Just one of those nights where everything kind of went wrong for the Scorpions.
Yeah, mate. You know, I can't thank the boys that rode here tonight enough. They all put 150% in. I struggled myself. I just couldn't get set up. Got set up towards the end of the meet, and then my bike just cut out in heat 15. I thought if I made the start, which I sort of did, it just cut out on the way off bend 2, but that's speedway sometimes. But yeah, like you said before, we're on the back foot from the start with Jason not coming and Josh having a crash in his first 2 rides, I think it was. So, you know, when that sort of stuff happens, you know you're in for a long night. You
mentioned that there was one of those nights where you need everything to go well. Probably with a 7-man team coming, obviously Armadale a difficult place to come for visitors. Jason doesn't get here. Josh has the first 2 crashes. Danny Ayres, you know, comes off the first one. Josh Bailey comes off in the second. Engine failure. So I guess it's just one of those ones you've just got to say it wasn't our night, dust it down, and look ahead to the rest of the season.
Yeah, mate. You know, it's always a difficult track to come to when you got 7 men or 6 men. So when we were down to 5 men, we knew it was, you know, pretty much over. But it's never over till the fat lady sings. But when it was 5-1 after 5-1 Edinburgh, it's hard to keep your head up, but you just got to go out there each time, make a change at least when you come in, and you know just try things and try and learn for next time when we come back with 7, because I think we're back here in August time in the league. So just use this as a learning curve. I know the track will probably be different if it warms up in the summer. So just try and forget about tonight. Come here in August, and you know it's 0-0. So we just got to make a good start to the meeting, and hopefully all 7 of us turn up.
I mean, that's the thing though, isn't it? After the KO Cup's gone, but the year is still very young. We're only in the middle of May. There's still, I don't have Scunthorpe even had a league meeting yet. I think you've still got the full league campaign left to go. So it's just a case of regrouping and looking ahead and getting into that top 4 and hitting the playoffs, and then anything can happen. Yeah,
mate. At the end of the day, the playoffs are the one that you want to win. Obviously, you want to win everything that you race in, but yeah, like you were saying, it's a long season. We've got plenty of home meetings left. And if we want to keep earning money and keep racing, we're just going to have to start winning on the road. And I mean, it's possible. Like you know, we got seven good riders. So I think if we all turn up, all make a good first race, because I think that's what you need at away tracks. If you struggle in your first race, that sort of sets the tone for the rest of the night. So if you can go out in your first one, make a good start, and even if you don't feel that comfortable, if you can get a win or a second, boost confidence for the rest of the night. So I think that's a key. If we want to start picking up some points away, we need to, just make some starts and get some heat advantages early on and let that snowball throughout the meeting.
And from your own point of view, on a personal form, both for Ipswich and Scunthorpe, every time I look at Ipswich's score, you seem to be getting extra rides and topping the scores for them, doing well for Scunthorpe as well. You must be happy with how the season started.
Yeah, mate. I think this is my worst meeting I've had, and I don't even know how much I scored tonight. I was
7. You finished with
7. I mean, 7's okay, but I think I had 6 rides. So I had two retirements. So it's not the end of the world, but it's obviously not ideal. At the end of the day, it's not 0 points, which is 7's better than nothing. So I'll take that. I've been going better than expected in both leagues so far this year. So one little blip is not too bad. I got Peterborough Monday, a track that I love riding. So onwards and upwards. Forget about tonight. Forget about the result, and just go to Peterborough Monday with a fresh head and try and get that win.
Well, thanks very much for speaking to me, Jake. So David, Jake Allen there, I guess it's, for a speedway rider, they've just got to dust off themselves after a night like tonight. And we can't forget that, I think, Jake would have come up from, I guess he's based down Ipswich way probably, or maybe been based down there. So a lot of travelling involved. So come up, he gets 7 points. He's done himself and his team proud tonight. And he'll go home happy enough, I guess. We flip it to the Monarchs side, though.
And then for Jake Allen, he's beaten Cameron Heaps a couple of times, so that gives a wee bit
of
rivalry with the Ipswich reserve booth.
Looking at the Monarchs lineup, though, amazing scoring down line. I guess it's always going to be the case when you score 67. That you're not going to have many last night, but they didn't run a last all night. I think the lowest score was 9 points for Cameron Heaps. The rest were all paid for double figures. Maybe round about the same. Lawson.
Round
about the same. So, as you mentioned, a good positive result for the Monarchs tonight. Yes, the opposition maybe wasn't the strongest, but the riders don't really think about that. You know, a rider will tell you they don't look at who they're up against in case it puts them off before a race, so they won't look at who they beat. Every one of them will get that wee white envelope or brown envelope, whatever it is, at the end of the night tonight with a wage packet. There's a confidence booster in there. Willie Lawson said he was going to get double figures. He wasn't far away paid for. Look, Ruddock obviously came out.
Gaten's looking really impressive,
yeah.
Actually. If some of the other riders could get the way Lucas, their scores would be like this every week.
Yeah, and a great score for Luke. Obviously, damaged his bike very badly at Berwick last week. Did come out this week asking for a little bit of help. You know, there's an easy way to make sure you don't need help is if you're putting on paid double figures every week.
That's it, yeah.
And then the top end, Ricky Wells, back to what we know and expect, a maximum for the number one.
Yeah, a maximum for Ricky is exactly what you expect. He got a wee bit lucky in Heat 15,
yep.
To be fair, but yeah, you take that. Yeah, and Justin Sedgman's won the 2 paid wins and a heat win.
Yep.
What more can you ask for? Willie Lawson, his gating is still not really there yet, but he's picking up points from the back and scoring some good points in the end. And Josh, as usual, wins his first ever Heat 15.
Yep,
apparently. So
that's that great effort and a confidence booster for Josh Henty. But you mentioned there, and the man for me that I think really should take a lot out is Sedgy. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about his start to the season. It's never easy to come back after a year out. You know, this is a guy that, you know, race sharpness builds up. You start the season on a par with everyone, but not if you've been out for a year and a half. With what was never actually disclosed quite how serious his shoulder injury was. So to get, I think was it paid 11 he finished on tonight,
yep.
Only dropped 1 point on the evening. That's the confidence boost that he needs to take forward, and we caught up with Justin after. So Justin, back to winning ways tonight. I think paid 11. You must be happy with that?
Yeah, I am. It's obviously Scunthorpe were a weaker team tonight. That's unfortunate for them, but like I said before, we need to capitalise on them situations and, you know, progress as a team and on the track as well. So it was good for me, but it's still not quite just there yet. So, you know, there's still a few things to work on, and I'm working on them.
The effort's going in, obviously we've seen on social media during the week you were doing the no limits camp. Was that just an excuse to get out and get some lamps and get the sharpness back up?
I was pretty lucky, really. Like Ian, that owns A2PI, it's, you know, he's invited me along to do a bit of coaching and that, and I kind of really enjoy it. So yeah, then it was like I needed to do a few more laps. So I said to Ian, can I come and ride with the boys? And you know, they all loved it. So, you know, I had to go around the cones and under the cones and from the start line with them. So it was good fun to just go back and, you know, do the basics again. And obviously Zagar and Rory were there. So, you know, even, you know, I've beaten them guys before. You can't stop learning off those sort of guys. And that's all just putting into practice now and just head down and just keep learning.
And I guess if we go back to from a Monarchs point of view, tonight really was crucial. Obviously, we got eliminated from the Championship Shield last week. We really couldn't be out of 2 cups by the middle of May, so it's really good that we got those points on the board. And we've already got a semi-final to look forward to.
Yeah, obviously, I don't actually know who it's against, but yeah, to put in a good display like that, and you know, Wellesley getting the maximum, and Pico winning his first heat 15. You know, it's all these little 1%ers go in the right direction, and you know, a few riders have said to me, like, oh, you shouldn't really, not talking about Edinburgh, but, you know, doing these non-important meetings like testimonials and that. But if you go out and win them, you get a heap of confidence from it. And, you know, that's what we did tonight.
Well, thanks for speaking to Justin, and great to see you back on the scorecard tonight.
Thank you.
So, Justin, maybe not quite as delighted as you would have expected after a score like that, but when he sits back and reflects on it, I guess he's got to be happy. And it sounds like he's doing everything he can to put the laps in to get himself back where he needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as you said before, he's racing in Australia during our summer is nowhere near the level we need to be at here, and it's taking him a little bit of time to get there, but matches like tonight will help. And as you say, he was down getting a bit of proper training, showing the kids how to do it. So great to see him back scoring points, gating, and looking good. Yep,
and as always, every week we look at the heat of the night. Last week we were spoilt for choice, David. This week there was a fairly easy winner, I would have said, and that was Heat 14. We'll see that now.
Heat 14, William Lawson, Stefan Nielsen, Joel Anderson and Ryan Kinsley. Anderson making a mess of his start there. Kinsley a bold challenge on the outside, and he goes round the home pair. That's a terrific effort by the youngster. Anderson comes back through on the inside. Lawson trying to improve his position. He's very sluggish out at the start. Here comes Nielsen bombing around the outside there. Close for the minor places, but anything could happen. And Lawson's gone tearing through into second spot. Can Kinsley come back? No, I don't think so. Lawson gets a paid win. So a good bit of action at the back there on a night we haven't had an awful lot of good racing. 5-1 to the home side in the end, and an interesting tussle.
Willie seems to think he's got it as he's heading round with the race winner there, no doubt about that, in 8-14. Rider in red, it's Joel Anderson. Bill, if you can tell us who was second there in 8-14.
Official result of Heat 14, sponsored by Close Brothers, in the red helmet colour for Joel Anderson.
A cracking race there. Obviously passes from the back from both Joe and Willie, and Stefan Nielsen battling right in there as well. So 3 of them going for that second place. Good race, and a match that maybe took a little bit of time to heat up, and I guess you could maybe look at the opposition performance for that. We're not going to put the boot in. It's always difficult when you come out your captain and your second heat leader, then you lose your number one to a broken wrist halfway through the meeting. But I guess
for great racing, you're always hoping that Josh Pickering doesn't make the gate, but he's made the gate in probably all 4 of his races tonight. In fact, the one point he did drop, he probably doesn't work because he did make the gate, but Danny Eyre somehow got underneath him and past him.
Yeah. Obviously, for me, I almost looked at that came after a track watering, and I think Josh went out into the dirt and didn't realise it was still a bit greasy, having just been watered, and he fell back. But as you say, 14 points. We'll take that every week from Josh. And in summary, we mentioned already, 67-23. The Monarchs progress into the semi-final of the Cup and set ourselves up nicely for that huge match next Friday. Yeah,
Leicester Lions come in as Scott Nichols and Richie Worrell next week. That's going to be a fantastic meeting. I think they've been going well. A couple of big wins on the road. They're already in the Championship Shield semi-final, easy for me to say, and looking good. So we need to be on the top of our game next week.
Yep, so next week, back to normal, 7:30 on Friday night. Tickets are available on the Monarchs website now. Remember, if you get a discount on those if you buy them before midnight on Thursday night. Thanks once again for joining us. I know a little bit different on a Sunday morning, or if you're tucking into your full Scottish breakfast on a Sunday morning watching us. But thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Good night.